Athing Mu, 49.84, U20 record, U.S. record, number 3 NCAA all time, becomes the 8th member of the sub-2, sub-50 club. She also split 49.9 on the 4x4. This is basically the indoor season. She's playing out again. She crushes records in the 8. She moves to the 4, crushes some records there, drops in some 4x4s, puts some impressive times. I don't know what else to say about Athing Mu right now, other than I'm really curious what she does at the NCAA championships. You know, they asked her after, what are you going to do at the Olympic trials? And she said the 800, which obviously that makes sense. Her better event for making the team is definitely in the 800. But I want to know NCAAs. What do you think she ends up doing?
I think she'll end up doing the 8 at NCAAs, but I'm not going to get away with you. You just said 800s are better event. I disagree with that.
To make the team?
100%. Yeah.
157 isn't an easier way to make the team than a 49.9 right now?
Hey, man.
157.
You know to make the 800, it's 3 rounds, back-to-back 800s. That is a unique situation that most 800-meter runners aren't prepared for. There literally is only 2 meets in the entire world where you got to run 3 800s in 4 days, and that is the Olympic trials and World Championships.
She runs 157. She's going to jog some 203. She's fine. She's been running rounds since she was like 10 years old. She's done every event.
There's a difference between running rounds and running 3 800s, high stress level 800s in 4 days. You saw it happen to Donovan Brazier is going to break the world record in his career, and he couldn't handle it. Like,
you keep comparing her to Donovan Brazier. Donovan Brazier was not breaking U20 records when he was a free. He did not have the experience. He had not raced internationally. We need to stop with the Mo to Brazier comparisons just because they're both freshmen at Texas A&M. 157 right now in the U.S. gets you a lot farther than a 49.9. That's all I'm saying. So
that's not true.
And internationally even more so. You're gonna run. You want to run a 49.9 is not going to get you. She could win gold theoretically at the Olympics in the 800. Her best event is in the 800.
No, put up the current U.S. 400-meter top times, Travis, and you're going to tell me that Athing Mu, this event isn't an event that she can make the team. Look at that.
I said her better. I'm not saying she can't make the team. I'm saying her better event for making the team and succeeding at the Olympics is in the 800, not the 400. Yeah, we have to talk. We can't just look at the screen. This is an audio medium.
Well, no, I'm trying to think what you said. Oh, you're saying the better. So she has a better do well at the Olympic final in an 8 than an Olympic final in the 4 is what you're saying. So she should choose the 8.
I also think it's easier for her to make the team in the 8 than it is in the 4. I'm not saying she can't make it in the 4. I'm saying it's easier for her to make the team. There's a lot of women who are going to run 59 or 49. There's not a lot of women who are going to run 157. Yeah, there are. We've already seen what Hayes has run it. Shamir Little has done it, and we're just getting into the meat of the season. You're going to see Lena Irby do it. You're going to see people like Shakima Wembley do it. You're going to see potentially Kendall Ellis do it. You're going to see Allison Felix potentially do it. There's a lot of people who can run 49. 157 gets her out of the crowd in the 800 because the crowd in the women's 800 is a lot closer to 58, 59. Mo running 157, which she did early season, you think she could potentially even go 156. She's out of that group. She's in with the Ajay Wilson tier right now. She's not in it with
I understand that 157 is so much. I understand that 157 is so much better than the 159, but again, she ran the 157 when that was the only race of the day, where it's like, you're just here for this. You're training all week to run one race in the 800 on your home track. That is very different from training to do an 800. You have to qualify, then a rest day, and then back-to-back 800s, then a rest day.
And then she's got rounds in both. There's no rounds in the 400. What are we talking about here? You're worried about her getting through rounds. I think she's going to be prepared for rounds.
The 400 is a lot simpler of a
play?
race strategy. You just go. Whereas an 800, it's like, what if you go and all of a sudden, hey, we're going out in 65 seconds. Oh crap! I got to make sure I have the best kick, or else I'm screwed. That happens.
That
where
would
like,
be, yeah,
hey,
she's
I'm used to
49. I think she's fine with her kick. I think she would love going out in 65. That's handing Athing Mu the race on a silver platter if you go out in 65. She's got the best
not necessarily.
Kick. Yes, she's fine. She's fine. So what do you think she should run NCAAs? That's where this conversation started.
Hold on, no. A lot of times the best people with kicks aren't the people with the fastest 400-meter PB. That's not how the 800 works. Because the Dwayne Solomons and the Donovan Braziers, early Donovan Braziers, they were definitely the best quarter milers in the race. But if the race went out slow, then the Clayton Murphys and the Nick Simmons were able to take advantage of that, even though they're not out there running 44-second 400s. They're more like 46, 47 guys. But in slow races, the people with the best kick aren't the quarter milers. It's the 1,500-meter runner type guys. That's a fact.
Listen, if you want to die on the hill of if it went out in 65, the woman who has a 49 season best and a PB wouldn't find a way to make it on the team, that's fine. I don't think we're ever going to be proven right or wrong on that because I don't think they're going to go out in 65. But if you want to hold that position, that's fine. But let's get back to my question. What is she going to do at NCAAs, the 4 or the 8?
I think she'll do the 8 at NCAAs because I think that she's going to want to get more reps at the 8, win an 8. She already tried the 4 in indoors. I think she needs to do. I think she'll do the 8 at NCAAs, but I also think she should do the 4-8 double at the trials because the 400's first, then there's like 3 days, and then the 800. You run that 400, make at least a relay team. I mean, she'll win the 400, I think, right now, and then you go into your 800 kind of stress free because you're like, all right, I'm good. I'm going to the Olympics. Let's see what happens, and then she'll have less pressure. But if she sits on her butt, watches a 400 team get selected where she sees the person who got third runs 50.2, she's going to be like, what have I done? I am so much better than these women, and I'm just letting them go to the Olympics without me. Oh, crap. Now I got to go up against AJ Wilson. Now I got to go up against Raven Rogers, who's a silver medalist. Oh, crap. Now I got to go against Hannah Green, who actually looked pretty good in the track meet. I don't mind. She was like in dead last. And
all the people listening, this is why you don't get too attached to your take, because Gordon has basically convinced himself that Athing Mu has a better chance of winning the 400 at the Olympic trials than she does in the 800, which is just a really bizarre.
A fact. No, that's not bizarre at all, dude. That's not bizarre at all. The 800 is not a one race event. It is 3 races in 4 days.
Have you seen a 400? It's not a one race event either. None of these are one race events.
Running three 400s is not as hard as running 3 800s. That's a fact. Listen, I keep on saying that's a fact, but now there's no like fact book on this. It's more like that's an opinion by Gordon Mack, which I call a fact.
Okay, here. Let me explain to you this way. She ran that 800 at the Michael Johnson fight. She went 60-57 negative split. Okay, she's got more to give in the 800. She's got more to go in the 800. That was not by any way, shape, or means her ceiling in the 800. I'm not saying the ceiling of her 400 is what she ran this weekend at SECs, but I just think she's scratching the surface with the 800. And if you're running 157 and you have more to give, again, you're in the AJ Wilson group, right? You're not in with all these other people that you've been mentioning. You're in the AJ Wilson group of people who can actually go that quickly. 400, you're still mixing it up with a lot of people in that 49 high range. I think what she's going to do,
a lot of people.
Yes, Little is going to be in there. Quinair Hay. I don't want to name all the people. I've already named it, but there's going to be a lot of people who run 49 high this year. That's going to happen.
Okay.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think she's going to run the 4. I think she'll run the 4 at NCAAs, and then I think she's going to run the 800 at trials, because I think what they're trying to do is not burn her out like on one event. They're trying to keep it fresh, freshman year, all this stuff. So they're trying to do different things to make it so that she's sharp towards the end of the year and not running too many races. We saw her run a 1500 this year. Obviously, run a lot of 400s. That's my take. That's my opinion.
There's nothing you can do in a time trial in an 800 that will overcompensate for what it's like to run multiple heats.
I agree that I agree that it's different. I agree with your point that it is different than a Diamond League race, but I also agree that there's people who succeed in both. Ajay Wilson succeeds in both. David Rudisha was pretty good in the Diamond League and pretty good in rounds. There's a lot of people. If you run the time, you can run the time. I just think you're putting way too much credit to, like you're acting like her going out there and running a 204 in the first round and then going in the next round and running a 201 is only hurting her, and it's not going to be a challenge for everybody else. It's going to be a challenge for everybody out there. But she's
not about the time. There's going to be other people who will run the 204 and 201. And like she could run 204 and 201 and be out leaned. Like
you think it's like a Dwayne Solomon situation? She's going to go out and just stop? No, they're prepping her for this. It's not going to be like, hey, Athing, by the way, this meet, it has rounds. I know you've never done that before, but what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to run it, then you're going to have to go the next day and run it again. I assume they are preparing her to handle rounds. 157 is 157.
That's a good shit.
Here's what I think, though.
157 is 157?
Yeah.
Do you know what 157 is?
Prelim time is PR time, baby. Don't forget that. Either.
157 is my 800 PR, so
that's why you're upset.
And I are in the same conversation.
Now you with Athing Mu and Ajay Wilson are in that tier. You from 10 years ago. That's why now I see why you're upset about it.
Maybe here's more. The thing, though. Probably it's high school.
Here's the thing, though. Before indoors, you said, hey, the issue she could have indoors is she could get bumped out of that pole position. It could throw off the rhythm of a race, and then she could not win, which is exactly what happened. That's not going to go. But that's not going to happen. Well, that's not going to happen in the 400. So again, that's another reason why you think, okay, she's going to be fine in the quarter. But I don't know. Either way, I think she's going to acquit herself well. Listen, 8 women in history have done this. It's remarkable to think about.
I just get upset because I want to be right. I want to be right with my take here, but then if I'm right, that means she doesn't make the team, and I don't want that to happen because I think it would be cool if she made the 800-meter team. So it's like this weird feeling. It was like, maybe I need her to get like third, but barely get third to kind of say like, hey, I told you it was close, but you'll ride on your victory horse.
That's the problem. This you need to stop with just being so dead set on clinging to your take even when it's done. I can let go of the